And I am pleased to welcome to the 2025 edition of Statehouse Conversations, special guest, not a member of the General Assembly, but somebody, as we will discuss, very important to the budgeting process, Comptroller Nieshalla. Thank you for taking time. Now you typed, I don't know if this is on camera, can I pick this up?
Of course.
Now this is not a phone book.
Yeah, let's take this off.
Yes.
There you go.
These are, you typed every word of this, we'll say, but this is the state budget. Talk about what it represents and what went into this.
Sure, this is the...
I should say proposed state budget.
This is the annual comprehensive financial report. So this
Forgive
is
me,
the accounting and the
Comptroller.
reporting for the state funds that validates. It is the tangible evidence
This is just
for
a little,
the fiscal
this is
position
just a
of the state.
forward to the state budget. Yes, okay.
So this is very important because of this good record keeping, and because we have we're on rock solid ground to show the state's position. We've been able to earn a AAA credit rating because we can show, yes, our pensions are well funded, we have healthy cash reserves, we have low debt, and a balanced budget.
And that's more than bragging rights. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know numbers a lot better than I do. But to have a AAA rating when the state borrows money or does any kind of bonding, what sounds like just a good thing to wave around on a flag becomes a multi-million-dollar proposition.
Absolutely it does. It's critical that we maintain that AAA credit rating. And now, this is over 900 pages of the state's financial information. And as you might assume, nobody reads it too much.
And you're going to tell me you boiled it all down into a front and a back.
Can you believe it? This was our goal, to put it in a 2-page newsletter format. It is the state of Indiana's
I'm calling the Cliff
financial
Notes
report.
People and,
Indeed. So we've got the highlights on our revenue and expenses. We have, oh my goodness, you're going to love this.
You know, I'm interested. I'm going to hear you do this, but you know now no one's going to read this. You've unveiled the secret weapon. But go ahead.
Listen to this. This is from Fitch, one of the 3 credit rating agencies that's given us this AAA. Indiana remains very well positioned to deal with economic downturns, with exceptionally strong gap closing capacity in the form of ample budgetary reserves, robust control over revenues and spending, and a demonstrated willingness to take timely budgetary actions.
Something tells me that has been blown up on your living foyer wall when you walk into your house. Now, for those who don't understand, this would be like for a comptroller who lives producing numbers and documents, this would be like a major league ball player being inducted into the Hall of Fame. What you just read is like,
yes,
it doesn't get any better, right?
It's huge.
Well, okay, that looks good on paper,
yes,
but in 4 months, are we still going to be feeling as good about things when the budget is enacted and goes to the governor?
Well, I tell you what's critical to watch, and that is where we stand as far as cash reserves. We need to stay in that sweet spot of 10 to 15% in order to retain our AAA credit rating. In fiscal year 2023, which is what this is based upon, 2024 is going to be coming out very soon. So we were at 13% cash reserves based on the appropriated budget. In fiscal year 2024, we came down to 11%, and that is a direct reflection of the Medicaid situation. That $1 billion divided by 3 years.
Does that factor into the automated or automatic rebate that goes to Hoosier taxpayers if the budget or if the surplus is sufficient? But that's in law. You can't roll back the rebate. So I guess that's really off the table.
So that's when we were at $6 billion worth of cash reserves. Fiscal year 2023, we were at 2.9 because this was after the 2 automated taxpayer refunds, as well as after the large injection of funds into the pension plans, the teacher pension plan.
Which was a significant investment in the last budget, yes.
And after capital expenditures were paid with cash.
As opposed to bonding, which some people had argued should do because at that time, what a quaint bucolic thought looking back, interest rates were low. Far cry from what they are now. So again, you're optimistic when all of this together, now I'm even more alarmed that you say this is only for 2023 and I'm going to see even another
you will.
We won't be able to have this conversation over the documentation, but again, why you seem more optimistic than a lot of the lawmakers and budget architects because, and I understand about lowering expectations, but the forecast calls for significant, several $100 million in new money in the first year of the biennium, down to, quote unquote, $70 million in the second year of the biennium. And so a lot of the budget architects are trying to tamp down expectations. You seem to be overflowing with optimism. Can the budget do what it needs to do in terms of property tax relief, in terms of the Medicaid question, and still make the long-desired increases in base tuition support for schools. I mean, every year at the end of the session, the lawmakers say it's a historic increase. At some point, I mean,
Yes.
is this the year that the historic increase is holding the line? I mean, where does that shake out?
Right, so what I am saying is that we are on solid financial footing. If you compare us to the federal government, right, $36 trillion in debt. The state of Indiana is the 4th lowest debt per capita state in the nation at $186 per person. The federal government's amount per person for debt is over $100,000. So I'm just sharing that we're in a good position to handle the challenges that we have before us.
Now I get to put on my devil's advocate hat. Without federal dollars, this state would be up a creek. I mean, and one of the reasons the state was flush with cash is because of the COVID spigot was open. Medicaid reimbursement, federal reimbursement was 3/4 of the overall cost versus 2/3. That's reverting. I mean, I know you'd never badmouth the federal government, but I mean, the federal government has as much skin in the game as Indiana in terms of dollars. Isn't it about 40 million, or I'm sorry, millions, billions, 44 billion in state dollars and maybe just that much in federal? I mean,
Yes, that is accurate for the biennium.
Right.
And that's one message
Which we never talk about. That would even be more alarming to talk about the $80 billion in expenditures.
Well, it's 22 and 22 for each year, so 44 and 44 together.
But that's state dollars, not the federal dollars.
It's just about equal for each year. And that great amount of federal money, that drastically went up through COVID, and then it has remained at an elevated level. It has not gone down to pre-COVID amounts. And so that is something for us to be aware of, because the federal government is plundering our kids and our kids' kids' futures with spending money they do not have. And we need to be aware in Indiana that it's hard to say this, but hopefully that money will decrease, because it absolutely needs to when you look at the big picture. So
I'm going to get healthier, I promise.
Let us be aware of that and plan and really, tighten up our belt strap to be in an all right position when we would see those federal dollars decrease.
The only word of caution I would sound in your optimism is there a line item for the increased Medicaid costs for hernias that will occur when people pick this report and the 2024 version? Because I clearly think there's going to be some visits to the ER.
We'll just give you this.
I think it feel healthier, light as a feather already. Elise Nieshalla, a comptroller for the state of Indiana. Thank you for coming in and giving us the Cliff Notes version of this, and for sounding a note of optimism in what will be a 4-month process that sees some ups and downs, but we all hope serves Indiana well in the end. I appreciate your time.
Indeed. Thank you so much.